the volume and surface area of a cone. The first page of your examination will have a formula sheet, and this here will be in it, so you don't need to memorize any of it. However, you do need to know what these letters stand for. So the R is the radius of the base of the cone, which is a circle. The H stands for the perpendicular height, how tall the cone is, and the L is what's called the slant height, so at an angle. If you imagine you're going running up from the bottom of this to the top, that distance there. So we have to find the volume and surface area of this cone here. So we can just start off with V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. That's 1/3 times pi times the radius, which is 3, square it, multiply it by the height. Don't have the height. So how can I get the height? Well, the height is this here line, and it forms part of a triangle if you look in 2D. That triangle, we could do Pythagoras' theorem to work out the height, not the hypotenuse, h for the height. So the longest side squared, the 7 squared, would equal the shorter side squared plus the other short side squared. Or in other words, the height squared would be 7 squared minus 3 squared. That works out to be 49 minus 9, which would be 40. So the height is the square root of 40. And let's leave it like that because it's a nicer number than the decimal. So back to the volume. The volume is 1/3 times pi times r squared times the height, which we now know is the square root of 40. If you put that in your calculator, you end up with 59.6. That would be meters cubed, and that's the 3 significant figures. The surface area just says surface area of the cone. Now the cone will have 2 surfaces. The general cone has the curved surface, called the curved surface area of the cone, so pi RL. But the base is also a surface, so the circle at the bottom is the second surface of the cone. So that would be a circle, which is pi r squared. So a cone is made up of 2 surfaces, a flat base and a curved surface. And then we put in the values. So pi times the radius, which in this question is 3. L represents the slant height. In this case, that's the hypotenuse, that's the 7. Plus pi times, again, 3 squared. And that gives you 30 pi, or 2, 3 significant figures, 94.2, and that's the surface area, so that would be in meters squared. Example 2. Find the volume of the frustum. So what, first of all, is a frustum? I would think of it as a lampshade shape, and what it is, if you imagine a full cone and then chop off the top part of the cone, you're left with this sort of lampshade. So here you can see it here. You've got the full cone, cut it along here, take the top cone off, the small cone, and you're left with a frustum. So we have to find the volume of this frustum. So the formula for the volume would be very technical. I would use very mathematical formula for this. Get the volume of the big cone and take away the volume of the small cone. Now what's the volume of a cone? We'll have to remember that. It's here, 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay? So 1/3 pi r squared h. 1/3 pi r squared h. Now this r is for the big cone and this h is for the big cone. 1/3 pi r squared h This r is the radius of the small cone and the height of the small cone. So hopefully we know all these things. If not, we'll have to work them out. What's the radius of the large cone? Well, the large cone's here. The base, the radius is 15. So that would be 15 squared multiplied by its height. How high up is it? That's 36. So times by 36. The small cone, a third times pi times r. What's the radius of the small cone? Well, we don't actually know. It's not written there. So how are we going to work that out? Now this one's going to be quite a difficult way to do it until you can get a better way in year 12. Still can do it though in year 11. Hopefully lots of the ones that you do won't be as hard as this. I'm going to leave that for a second because I don't know what that is. The height of the small cone I do know, however, is 12. So I'm going to get my answer fine as long as I can get the radius of this small cone. How would I do that? Well, let's imagine the triangle that's formed and the radius of the small cone's there. That also, you have a large triangle, okay? And they share this angle here, okay? If I know what that angle is there, that's going to help me a little bit. So let me try to work out that angle for a second. Let's draw it out again with the big measurements. 36 high and 15 on the base. And I want to work out this angle, let's call it x. So if I label the triangle opposite the angle is O and adjacent to it is A, so it's tan. Tan of that angle, you can guess how we're using trigonometry. Tan opposite which over adjacent. So tan of the angle is going to equal the opposite 15 over the adjacent 36. To work out the angle, you've got to do the tan inverse of 15 over 36. So in your calculator, that's shift and then tan, and then 15 over 36, and that gives you the answer 22.6 degrees. Why did I want to work that out? Well, let's look at the smaller triangle now. I know its height is 12, so we can put 12 there. I want to know the radius, I want to know this bottom side, and I know the angle now in there is 22.6. So we need to use trigonometry again to work out that side r. So if the angle is 20.6, opposite that angle will be O, and 12 will be the adjacent. So tan again. Tan of the angle equals the opposite over adjacent. Tan of 22.6 equals the opposite, which is r, over the adjacent, which is 12. Now, when you put tan of 20.6 in the calculator, that works out quite nice. It's 5/12. So 5/12 equals r over 12. And if you times both sides by 12, you get that the radius is 5. Now, when you get to 5th year, you're probably thinking that's a silly way to do that question. And it is, there's another way, but I haven't taught you that just yet. But essentially, by using trigonometry or Pythagoras theorem or whatever, you will need to, in these questions, work out r and h or L if it's surface area. So I worked out the radius in this question is 5. So that's in your armory. In these questions, make sure you try and draw in some triangles, and hopefully you can find out what you need using trigonometry or by using Pythagoras. And by the way, just another point is, if you look at the whole triangle, I would cut it in half to get the right angled triangle. So sometimes in a question they might give you a full angle here, which is no use because that triangle there is not right angled. So you cut the triangle in half to get a right angled triangle. That'll be useful. Finally then, just need to work out what that would be. So that's a third times pi times, then that's 15 squared times 36. And that gives 2,600 pi, or 8,168.1, and that is in millimeters, and it's a volume, so cubed. So that's to 1 decimal place.